Just to start, obviously, by congratulating Deputy Pringle and welcoming very warmly the bill. Warmly is probably a bit of a pun in the context, but I do think it's a hugely warmly welcome bill. And the reason I think that is that the rationale for the bill is to send a clear signal that the phasing out of fossil fuels must be speeded up, and keeping fossil fuels in the ground is absolutely the key. And at this stage, there's hardly anybody, apart from maybe the Healy-Raes in here and Donald Trump, who deny the science on climate change, but everybody else, and I'm hearing it here, accepts the absolute science on climate change. And even the Taoiseach has said that this is the greatest challenge facing humanity at the moment. And if it's the greatest challenge facing humanity, then this is the first step in really taking that challenge head on. The other thing I think that's significant about it is that the Taoiseach, the same man, has also said that Ireland is a laggard when it comes to dealing with our fossil fuel emissions, our CO2 emissions and our targets under Paris. And that is also true. But if we're a laggard, we're now becoming a leader, or can potentially become a leader. But I suppose just for the few minutes I have, I would like to ask the Government and the Taoiseach to be absolutely consistent and committed to this agenda, because it should be at the heart of every department. And for that we need joined up thinking, and that means that when, for example, the Heritage Bill that was passed the other night, when that is being considered, it should be climate change proofed, and I don't think that did happen. I think that was a disaster that bill passed. When we're looking at transport, that has to be climate change proof, and that means a huge investment in public transport, restoring the subvention to public transport, not to its full, but beyond its full, at the levels that it was at 2009, and really aiming to take cars and trucks off the road. That would be a massive contribution to dealing with our emissions. And also, of course, the obvious, and the Government are making some attempt at doing this, but it is not quick enough and it is not sufficient, and that is to retrofit every home and building in the country so that we have no need to be burning as much gas and oil as we do to stay warm in the extreme colds of winter, and to stay cool by using other forms of electricity in the extreme heats that we're experiencing in the summer. Those are agendas that we need a joined-up thinking throughout government, throughout the cabinet, through every department. And I therefore would like to appeal to government and to the Taoiseach to change their minds about their approach to the bill that I have put before the House, which is a climate emergency bill that is trying to end the extraction of all fossil fuels at sea, particularly challenging the oil and gas industry to say leave it in the ground. There is no need for us to take any more fossil fuels from the ground. I'm not saying turn off the lights tomorrow, but rather let's take a serious, consistent, deliberate and decisive step in transition from our over-dependence. We're like addicts. We're being told this is dangerous, it's killing us, but we won't give it up. And if we continue to do that, we are on the cusp of losing an opportunity. Nature doesn't lie to us, the physics doesn't lie to us, and we have to listen to nature, listen to the science, and begin to deliberately and concisively act. So I am appealing to the Government in the next term to reconsider their position on the climate emergency bill that I have put before the Dáil, and to say to the fossil fuel industry, a very, very powerful industry, the oil and gas industry has a lot of lobbying and a lot of influence, but we need to challenge them and to say enough is enough. What's already extracted we can use up as we transit to full renewable energy, but do not take another single drop of oil or gas out of our shores. And that would also contribute to what Deputy Pringle has started, and that is putting Ireland, along with other countries like New Zealand, Costa Rica, France, Belize, in a movement that is beginning to wake up, smell the coffee and deal with climate change decisively, immediately now. We don't get a second bite of the cherry. And I want to thank Deputy Pringle for all the work he's done.
Thank you, Deputy Smith. Deputy Eamon Ryan.
Indeed, I stand to speak nothing but about the amendment. Count Corley, be glad to hear. I apologise for being late. We had a meeting of our